So this video that we're going to look at here is the transition training for Carol. She's the second person ever to fly the EMG-6. So far I'm the only one that's ever flown the thing. So I've kind of got an overall picture of what's going on with the process. I know her experience level, and I know what I think we can get away with on this whole video. We're going to narrate the whole process together as husband and wife, so it should be quite entertaining. Carol is here with me in the studio, and we're going to watch the video and talk about it at the same time. The process is, as you might imagine, a pretty big deal. The airplane has been flying now for about a year, and all of our hopes and aspirations are built on this whole design and the successful operation of the whole aircraft. And so it's always, when something like this is going on, it's kind of tense and it's kind of nerve-wracking because an accident can completely destroy the entire project. And so you will hear some of the tension in the video as we go through the process. But we've been working together for such a long time that we kind of understand the nuances. My frustration is always that I think we should be putting a lot more effort into the whole process. And Carol, I think you can admit that it always seems to you that it's always happening too fast for you.
Well, yeah, it's suddenly. And I didn't even know I was going to fly this day. And all of a sudden, you're adjusting the seat and putting me in a plane, single seat plane for transition training. And we've transitioned, I've transitioned into a lot of aircraft, but the majority are two-place. And the transition training happens with you in the plane. So you've just put me in this aircraft. It's got a tail wheel, and I'm not comfortable. I don't have a tail wheel endorsement. And so I'm nervous about this, and I'm not even sure what's happening because we haven't even briefed about whether I'm going to fly or just do high-speed taxis. And even the high-speed taxis I was apprehensive about.
Yeah, and my frustration is always that I understand that all of this is going to take place, and I would have anticipated that you would have shown up 3 hours early and started getting comfortable with the airplane. But you're so busy that you wait till the very last second to show up, and then you're surprised of all this difficulty.
Okay, so my frustration is that I show up and you're still 3 hours out working on the plane, and nothing happens, and I'm very busy, and I have to get these other things done, and I'm sitting waiting for 3 hours.
And we both understand that this is exactly what goes on with these scenarios on every single occasion.
Right.
And so that begins the process of both of us dealing with each other's situations and misunderstandings.
And then I want some communication before I get in the plane. But you put me in the plane, you put these headsets on me, so now I can't hear you. And I'm not even sure what the plan is. And I would have liked to have had about an hour to sit down and go over what was going to happen.
And you had an hour. You had as many hours as you wanted, but you're so busy, you can't show up until the thing is ready and you just hop in the airplane and go. So that's the dilemma that we're in with this entire video. 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the video here, and we haven't even started. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so let's begin the video, and we'll just start commenting on what's going on with the whole process. We've got one GoPro camera set up on the airplane, and we've got Jason shooting some video on the outside, and my job is pretty much to communicate with what's going on here.
Yeah, at this point I'm just trying to get really comfortable in the plane, so I feel like I'm sitting comfortably and I feel like I have full control.
With every airplane that we've ever owned, it's always an issue of Carol being so short that nothing fits her, so we have to specially manufacture pedal adjustments and seat back adjustments. So today we just quickly built up a new seat back, and we're just jacking it forward with a bunch of cushions behind her in order to get her up to where it's comfortable. One of the key traits in making the whole process successful is it's got to be comfortable. If you're struggling for the controls, that's just a setup for disaster. So we put the entire day so far into manufacturing this seat adjustment for her, and she's had to come in 2 or 3 times in order for us to. Oh, you just said, aren't you concerned about the whole tail wheel thing? And I said, yep, I'm concerned. And then I ignore it all completely, and we're off onto a different subject.
But notice that I'm still in the plane.
Yeah. Why, were you going to get out?
Well, I'm just saying I'm trusting you here. I'm not feeling like...
Why don't we just have the actual seat cushion on this, sweetie?
Yeah, so we're going to get the seat cushion behind me there. And then it does feel really comfortable. I'm not even noticing... after I get comfortable in the plane and everything's easy within reach, that's super important. So I did feel really comfortable, and I was concerned about the throttle position, and I was concerned about the design of it, because I've never had a throttle like that.
Yeah, right now I'm duct taping everything, actually using gaffer tape, which is awesome stuff, to make sure that if anything comes loose, it doesn't go back through the prop and cause a problem, just to secure it back in place.
Sure. Now these are the side supports that you just installed, and I did really like that. I put the seat belts underneath them, through them.
I just asked you what you wanted to do.
And because of the cushion, we have to extend the seat belt a little bit there. The helmet was a little bit large for me.
Yeah, my big fat head is. See, these are all the things that. Looks like it fits better now. Yeah. We'll plug in the headset.
Well, and I was concerned about the cord to the headset, where to put it. But it didn't get in the way of anything throughout any of the flights, so it was just fine.
Okay, ballistic parachutes right above your, right here, grab it.
And I'm concerned
Take your hand off of it.
about actually if you were ever to have to pull the chute, if I have enough upper body strength. I hear it takes quite a bit of strength to pull the chute.
Oh, if something's going wrong, you'll have enough adrenaline for you to
Sure.
pull the thing. That won't be a problem there.
Do that all day long.
And here we are, we're arguing because
I touched it.
Do it as long as you want.
Well, without the pin in, but
Not once the
and I'm being an asshole.
yes, you are. But I don't think that even if
right there.
the engine quit, that I would ever pull it. I mean, I'd have to have.
Oh, no, you wouldn't do
I
that
would
unless
just
something
do an
catastrophic.
off-field landing. Yeah.
And straight sideways for off. Okay,
So now we're just going through the systems, making sure you can reach everything. And it's all new, and you haven't even sit in the airplane yet.
No,
so
this is the first time I've ever actually. Well, I've sat in it, but not ever. As
put that in.
you didn't have to pay attention
no.
before.
I mean, I've just sat in it for fit, but I hadn't sat in it to look to see. I didn't even know where the
Clockwise to
master switch was.
Right.
This is just like my very first experience. I was shocked at the end of this whole process how fast
switch is on. You now
I got
have
comfortable with the plane.
Okay. This is the ignition switch right here. This is mag test switches. Under normal conditions,
I
this
really
light will be
liked the
blue
panel
in
and all of
flight.
the information that you have there. I mean, on a
This on
ultralight type
here, other
aircraft,
traffic.
compared to like my Sprint that had nothing. It's a lot of information on that panel.
And squelch. Adjust the volume there. You're not. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, but there's nothing to adjust. I don't hear anything going on. Hey.
Turn it down right there. That's volume.
No, I don't even think my headset's plugged in here.
Yeah,
I
it
hadn't
is.
plugged it in. Oh, did I
No,
plug it
you-
in? Oh, yeah,
we didn't have the squelch on, and
I
so
see.
we were tweaking the squelch. And because you haven't used that radio before, you didn't know how to operate it.
Okay, and you're 123.0. Okay. And on that push to talk.
And this
switch
is where I
right there,
panic
you
that
hit
we're not
turn
going to be
it
on a
on.
common
Instruments are
chat
right here.
frequency so that I can talk to you. So now I'm getting a little bit more apprehensive. I thought at least.
Oh, and then right here.
Trying to kill me?
Are you trying to kill me?
Well,
And I'm
this is-
totally ignoring you.
This is
that,
a result of, not knowing what's going on, not comfortable with the tail wheel,
And I
and
have- I have-
chat.
I
no
have
chat
absolutely
frequency.
no sympathy for you because you had hours before this to come and try and get comfortable. But no sympathy now. You
This
just
is just not true. I just need to go on record because that's just not true. If I'd have come in, I just would have been in this seat earlier doing just this. Because this is how it always is. It's not like you would ever take time to sit and talk.
Another water temperature and RPM right there.
And you do it well. I mean, it,
Okay, I'm going to turn the choke on for just a second to get us started.
you notice I'm sitting there completely
Throttle
trusting you
all
because
the
I
way
know
up
it's
towards you,
that you know what you're doing.
and leave it right there where you can get at it. Is it nice and all the way up?
Yeah, this
yeah,
is where I
on the
start.
second flight, we adjusted that handle to where it wasn't quite as loose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we made it real stiff so it wouldn't. Right now, it's moving just a little bit, but that's all weird and new. Never flown an airplane with that kind of handle before.
When we got out, I mean, just even taxiing out,
Well, and then, yeah.
I never felt uncomfortable with it, but I was concerned right here. I thought,
We may not even get in the air tonight if.
I can't hear you now.
Said we may not even be able to get in the air tonight if you're not comfortable with everything. So we're just going to start that process. It looks like we're losing.
I want to
daylight.
point out that nobody ever asked if I was comfortable.
Go to the
in
on
the
position.
process.
Starter button right here. Is it at idle? All the way down. Okay. Starter switch.
But we haven't talked about stuff like, takeoff speed.
We're not getting to takeoff speed yet. We're
Yeah, I want to point out that there's no sense talking to you about it because you're not listening to most of the stuff I'm saying anyway. I know when it'll be time to talk about it. When it now becomes important, then you will pay attention and you'll listen to what's going on.
I'm always paying attention, 100%.
So now I think we're talking about. I'm telling you to lower the throttle.
Sure.
And you said the engine's going to die.
Well, it's so quiet.
I know.
I was shocked at how quiet it was.
It sounded like it was too low of RPM, but because of the centrifugal clutch, nothing connects to the prop, and so it's able to spin very smooth and very quiet at low RPM.
Well, sure, and I'm used to the noise level of a Rotax two-stroke.
So all I'm doing now is I'm giving you some instructions and some reassurance and just giving you the next steps that we're going to do. We're going to go out onto the ramp and do some taxi stuff to start with. We started off with talking about taxiing with the stick all the way back, although with this airplane the geometry is such that it's not like a conventional airplane as much, but we'll taxi with it, get used to it.
Yeah, and I'm just checking the brakes. And now you're telling me that we're going to go out and we're going to do just some high-speed taxis, and you're going to meet me out there. But I head out the taxiway, and of course you're a little behind me, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to turn into that tarmac area, if you had that in mind, or if we're going to use the taxiway.
Well, it's because of my superior communication skills. See, I'm directing you right here. Go that way.
Yeah, that's
Go that way. You're good. Done. Walking. See you later.
this is where, the
I'm not feeling like I have a lot of information on what I'm supposed to do.
So we head out there. And, the taxiing, this is the first time I've taxied. So it was just intuitive. So I actually, I've had a lot of people ask me, well, how are you going to transition into a single place aircraft? And this is just how you do it.
Well, you've got enough experience flying similar type airplanes. The flying I knew was not going to be an issue at all. The biggest issue for us was going to be your comfort level with the new configuration, the fact that you're in an airplane that only one other idiot has ever flown. You know, the whole tail wheel thing, the throttle being different, the different engine that you've never flown behind before. A lot of variables there that make it a little bit more challenging.
So see, I'm looking at slots here because I'm not sure if I'm going forward or going over to the tarmac area over there. That $4 million pad that the city thought would be a great addition to the airport.
Well, at least we're using it now.
Yeah.
And during all this early stuff, I know that the whole process is it just has to get comfortable, and so the whole goal here is just to let you start getting comfortable with the thing.
Well, and this is a better area to do it because the taxiway would have, this was a shorter distance. I could just do shorter little taxis and get right back to you.
Stay off the toe pedals.
You
Don't-
meant the brakes.
The brakes, yeah, and just the rudders only. And that's what we were talking about there.
Yeah, and you told me to stay on the yellow line so that I keep the plane straight.
Uh-huh.
And one piece of advice that comforted me was you said if you start to feel like you're losing it, just cut the throttle and get your feet off those pedals.
Yeah, if you hold the pedals straight, it can't ground loop at that point anymore. It'll just head whichever direction you're going.
Yeah.
It is a really stable platform from which to fly from.
Oh yeah, it made me feel confident really fast. I'm not sure about this at this point. Now I don't think at this point you even had me get the tail wheel off. Just
No,
taxi.
this
Yeah.
was just practice taxiing and just getting used to the directional stability of the airplane and you're even doing your turnaround down at the end of the runway. You're doing it with just rudders only. By the end of your flying, you were using the brakes a little bit more. But you can still see you're kind of tentative at this this position.
You
right
had
here.
said not to use the brakes. You said I don't think I want you using the brakes.
Yep. And you,
So
as
I
you
was
saw,
just
you
not
didn't.
using the brakes.
Yeah. You're smiling, at least that. A little bit more power that time.
Well, yeah, I'm getting a little more comfortable now. And
It's probably less comfortable going that way because there's buildings at the end of the...
right. I did wonder if I'd get airborne unintentionally, during this whole process. I'm coming down to turn around again by you.
And I think I'm waving you on. Come on, come on, come on.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. Gotta be cautious not to. Well, I'm getting comfortable here now.
So the spot that I grab on the wing is the pivot point for the airplane. That's the maximum, or the minimum radius it'll turn at. So you can just
Yeah, that was
lock
pretty
it up right
impressive.
there. Okay, so now we're just going to show you what it's going to feel like when the tail is up in the air. So I'm having Jason go to the back of the airplane and lift the tail, just so that you can get an idea of what the attitude is.
This was extremely helpful.
It felt weird. I saw your eyes go, wow, it's going to be in that position.
Well, yeah, that was shocking. And so that was a really good exercise before I got into the high-speed taxi to pull up the tail. That was very helpful. I'm being pretty cautious this time. I just take the tail up just for a little bit, and then I want to get back down there. I'm turning around, and then I get back down there. Well, you can see I'm running out of tarmac too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we only do this one more time before we head over to the runway.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because you were mentioning that the millisecond that you said that you were starting to get comfortable, I stepped it up a notch and moved you to the next phase.
I know, and then I became really apprehensive again because I didn't think we were going to fly today. I had kind of thought things would go at my pace.
Well, I don't know why you would ever think that.
But yeah, I'm just getting comfortable. Right about now, I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I'm ready to do it again and keep the tail up longer.
Now I just grab the wing and pivot you around again. Just giving you some feedback on what you've been doing. Everything was looking good, and step it up each time. Push you just a little bit more to the next level to where it's.
So there comes the tail. And we don't have a lot of tarmac here to work with. You can see we're almost to the end again. So that's when I think I come back and say, I want to try and keep it up longer, but I don't like that end of the tarmac coming up at me, so we move over.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned to you that once you put the tail on the ground, the drag profile increases so dramatically that it slows way down. And you can see that even as you slow down, that it slows down pretty quickly, even without brakes.
Oh yeah, I didn't use brakes at this point at all.
It takes quite a bit of stick pressure to get the tail off the ground, but then as soon as it comes off, then it's very easy to hold it up. But you've got that 3-point attitude with the wheels so far forward at this point, tail doesn't really want to come up very easy until you get a little bit of airspeed on the thing. And it's nice with that centrifugal clutch. There's no thrust at all, so it doesn't want to move until you put some throttle to it. Keep it up a little longer. You're getting it, I can tell. Just need a little bit of feedback this time. This time you left the power in a little bit better. Doing a little directional controls, looking really stable. At this point from the other end, I can see that the only difficulty we have is you're running out of runway.
Yeah, right there I didn't want to have to put it down. At that point I wanted to continue, but I see it, there's the grass. I think we only spent about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes over here. Maybe 15 minutes over here on this tarmac doing this, and I did feel really comfortable at this point. I'm not even thinking about that throttle. It's
Yeah, it comes
feels,
quick, doesn't it?
yeah, it just felt real comfortable.
Another shot.
Yeah,
at
that's
it.
where I was talking about. I was wondering at what point I would get airborne.
Right.
And you're telling me that what stall speed is, and yeah.
So it's obvious to me at this point in time that you're starting to get the feel of the thing.
Oh yeah, it's feeling. I mean, really quickly, really comfortable. The plane's really extremely forgiving. Okay, this is where I'm telling you that I don't think I have enough space. I'm thinking in my head we're going to move to the taxiway where I'll have more space. But you take me to the runway.
Yeah, this baby stuff is for babies. We're not doing that.
I'm like, runway?
Okay, and my big communication right there, I point to the runway and tell you to head out, and you're like, where? Where am I going? Like, where'd he go? Why won't he talk to me? He just points me out in the world and tells me to go do something.
I know, I usually just have to use my best judgment. And some of the times, I guess right. See, even at this point, I think I'm going to turn around and use the taxiway, and you start walking over to the runway. When I get up here, I see that's where you are. I think, oh, shoot, we're going to the runway. See, I'm looking for you.
Where'd he go?
We're going over the runway.
All those good habits, checking for traffic before you get out there.
Yeah, the visibility, of course, is phenomenal.
Now we've just gone from this little short pad out to this big giant long runway, and I'm walking to you, and you decide that you'll let me walk all the way to you.
No, never give up perfectly good runway.
I see.
Yeah, that's where
I
I'm
can't
staying,
complain about
right
that
there.
one, I guess.
I'm wanting the full length.
Well, we're just taxiing, so I make a joke about it.
But again, I don't know if I'm taking off or if I'm taxiing, or if when I taxi, if I'll end up accidentally taking off and need runway to land.
That's all right, I'll come to you. Same drill, get that tape up there. And if at first you feel like you didn't like, you should be able to get up above 30. You don't fly above 30, but it's really close to top. So just practice getting around the thing and keep things simple. Remember,
So at this point I can see that you're maintaining good directional control with the tail semi up, not completely up, but just kind of off the ground. And that's actually the hardest spot to maintain control, is that area right in between tail on the ground and tail up in the air.
Sure,
So
but I don't
you-
know. I don't know any different. I don't know
Right.
that I'm supposed to have it up further.
But this is telling me that you've totally got control over the airplane, and that's why it gave me confidence to shoot you around the patch. At that spot with that tail in that position, if you were going to have any problem, that would be exactly the spot that you would have it.
Yeah, it felt fine to me even at that position. Easy to fly. And I didn't feel like I was fighting it or anything. I mean, it felt comfortable.
No, it's pretty easy to fly.
And so I didn't know the difference until I had gotten the tail into another position later on. You know,
Yeah. Oh, there was another smile.
well, I just got down the end of the run line. Felt pretty good. And I'm feeling really comfortable with what we're doing now.
Oh, that means it's time to step it up a notch.
Yeah.
As soon as you get comfortable, it's time to go again. Yeah, right there is the hardest spot to maintain directional control. Now you're getting a little higher, it's getting a little bit more fluid. It's a little easier to steer once that tail's up there. And you can see how much more stable you are once you do get the tail up there. It becomes really easy to fly. So at this point, I knew I was sending you around. All I had to do was convince you that it was a good idea.
Yeah, I was thinking that we were just going to do another high-speed taxi. But I'm feeling good.
Yep,
And I'm relaxed.
I can see the smile.
Yeah.
If there was no smile, that would have been a different story. But
Yeah, and I'm starting to have a lot of fun. Less anxiety. Feeling really comfortable. And then here you bring up my anxiety again.
yeah, you got it, I tell you. Looking good.
See, right there. You see.
Oh, you can see. Take a big breath. Starting to sweat a little there.
Yeah. And so now I'm asking you about the approach angle. If I'm going to come in kind of flat like with the Varga or really steep like a Quicksilver.
I know you've got all these questions when you're asking this stuff to me, but I know the second that you fly it, it'll just all feel
It
natural.
did.
You didn't know.
Yeah. But you were not in the plane with me, and you're not on the radio. So I have to get as much information as I can before I get up there in the air. And I know that a lot of hours A lot of time in that plane. I don't want to ding a wing or something, you know. And there we go.
And initially, you don't quite go to full throttle, I notice.
No, I'm just wanting to make sure I have really good
Positive
rudder control and I'm okay before I go to
Right
full
there, now
throttle.
you've gone to full throttle.
Yeah.
And of course, with you, it leaps off the ground
Oh,
pretty
just
quick.
instantly up, and I was really, you can see how much altitude I'm gaining quickly.
There's the smile again.
Oh yeah, it felt good to always feels good to get up in the air, and the night, it was so beautiful out. The mountains were gorgeous, and I felt confident right up until, you know, I felt like the workload comes in the landing. So right now I'm just being able to enjoy the plane and enjoy flight.
Yeah, I noticed a couple times your hand kind of relaxes from the stick, so you're almost neutral controls at this point.
You can see some of the lights coming on. We're getting close to. Oh, we just did this one flight, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to sunset. And now we're. And there we are, back on the ground.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, that's a great feeling, you know.
Even on the first landing, that's about, what, 200, 300 feet?
Oh, yeah. I landed pretty close to the numbers there. If it didn't feel comfortable, you know, I was going to just go around and come back and do it again. But it was just a...
Oh, and you're waving at me because I'm headed to the hangar. We're done.
I'm
And
like,
you're like,
where are you
hey,
going?
I just soloed this thing. This is a big deal.
I
Why
wanna
are you
talk
leaving?
about
Let's
it."
talk about it. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, social convention. I better come back and say something.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm back. Yoo-hoo, over here.
I'm back.
Yeah, the whole... From the time
From
I
when
got
we,
to the airport...
right now, from the time we turned the camera on, you can see on the video 35 minutes.
35 total minutes. And that's pretty amazing.
That's from when we turned the camera on. That's not from when we started the engine. So that means that
No, we started the engine with the camera on.
no, we.
Yeah. We were talking and putting on my seatbelt.
That's what I'm saying. We have probably another 5 to 8 minutes of jabbering before we even start the engine.
Yeah, but this was on through the whole thing. So we started the engine maybe 30 minutes, maybe even 25 minutes total after the engine started. We'd have to look at where the timer is on the video for that. But very quick. Okay, now I'm going through the shutdown in my head. I'm thinking, well, just instruments first, engine, and then I forget about the master switch there because it's.
Looked awesome.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was perfect. Didn't it feel pretty good? Looked like
Well,
one
yeah,
of
it's
it.
just that, it's new, so, yeah. But I was, not sure about the last, when he said, go ahead and take it real fast. I thought, maybe I should taxi a few more times. I thought, well, you know these things, so I trust you. I remember when I first soloed, I thought, as I was pushing in the throttle, my thought was, well, he says it's okay.
You turn the radio off.
I turned off the instruments.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't turn off the radio either.
Well, that was fun. That was fun and unexpected.
So you're the second person in the whole world to fly the EMG-6.
Second is just second place loser.
First place was
First place loser. First place loser. Yeah, I was like.
Now
that was a
it's
lot of
time.
fun.
Now it's time to talk about
Yeah,
it.
there you go. Well, you guys still didn't talk to me about it.
Yeah,
I was missing
think
my
I'm
dad
turning-
right there because
Yeah.
he would have talked to me about it.
Yeah. I thought I turned the camera off, but we didn't.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty successful and pretty surprising, and extremely, comfortable. Yeah, the cushion was comfortable. The seat was comfortable.
Did it feel pretty good with the side pieces?
Yeah, I like that too. But the cushion has a little give.
So yeah, so that was great. It was awesome. I just felt like the plane could fly itself,
Yeah. Well, we finished the video. We've done our narration through the whole thing. We'll now have to edit this and turn this into a video. Hope everyone's enjoyed listening to us jabber about the whole process and kind of give you an insight into what it took to get through this transition training here. It's pretty painless, and did a great job with it too, by the way.